August 2020. Yazhi self-doubts during the COVID times. We are fighting the very people we want to awaken, essentially imposing our way of seeing things on them. They want the papaya and all what comes with it, so we cannot win this fight. It is us who is out of line. The awakened ones want to live here as well. As far as I see it, it's the sleeping ones imposing their reality and wishes on us. It is their planet. We are the invaders. No, why? Just because we are minority? Yes, like the awakened ones are our invasion troops. I think it's more complicated than just being the minority. But I don't think we are invading. We also have the right to our idea of 3D. You could argue as a German soldier in World War II that the French resistance is imposing their point of view on them. And Germans imposing on the French, depends on the perspective. If they come to me to get the papaya against my wish, that's them imposing. That as well, yes. You living there as a humans, and all the other awakened ones, starseeds or not, are not invading. They are also humans. But I am invading, or being invasive. I've been on Earth many times, and I've interacted and influenced Earth in one way or another. But I have never been a human. I am a space invader. No, BS, you're not. Because if that was so are the Federation invasions. They are influencing humans all the time, implanting stuff, etc. You only offer new ideas. Where is the imposition? Federation can, but you can't? If I only would offer what I know, I perhaps wouldn't be invading. But I do go around cheering masses into battle, and that is invading. With ideas, with knowledge. You said yourself it's how it works all the time throughout the universe, beings influencing one another. 3D, 5D, no difference. Yes, from yet another perspective, that's right. It has always been this way. Our minds are a match to yours. Consciousness is consciousness, no matter what density. If we were in a so-called 5D and you are inspiring us to battle, so that will be okay suddenly? Everything interferes with everything, and everything is part of everything else. The sheer concept of no interference defeats itself, as we do anyway. So the andros and their ideas can go shovel manure. Of course. But from another perspective, like the one I'm entertaining today, I do feel out of place. Even talking to the person on the street, offering some advice on what cookie tastes better, that's interference. It happens all the time. You being from out of this planet makes no difference. Just like it doesn't matter I am from Poland giving advice to the Finnish person. Densities don't matter. Yeah, you can't even breathe without interfering. Yes, my plant in my room interferes. It's all connected. What makes it invasive is when it's done against someone's wishes, not simply inspiring and offering ideas. No one follows your ideas because they are forced. It's the cabal who do things against people's knowledge and manipulating. They don't even tell people what's in the papayas. They lie. That's not interference. So there is no I am out of place. It's all one universe. You're only giving people the knowledge, something the other side doesn't do. And withholding the information is a much worse interference than offering it. People have the right to knowingness, even if it's their choice to reject it then. But at least they are offered an alternative. They have the right to refuse, but if I did not offer, I would feel worse. Yes, I stand corrected. I love giving all the information I know. That's all it is good for. If I have it in my mind, it is useless. So I find that knowing something and not saying it is morally incorrect. Another chat, 2021. Right now I feel a little down, because the t-shirts many times don't agree with me about everything. Not that bad, but it's how I feel many times in general. I'm always feeling like I am not taken into account. What I say or explain is irrelevant.
Give me an example.
About people hearing what we say, and they feel it's useless. That I'm always fighting as Joan of Arc and they want to chill.
Chill? Then why don't they go home? If you want to chill, you chill. Let everyone do what they want.
Whatever they need to do, they could do it from home. Yet they won't leave. I guess there are technical reasons why. I don't presume to understand it all.
Such as?
I don't know. Like Alan being safer here, or that their mere presence in orbit is a deterrent for worse things happening to humans. They do care, but they feel their hands are tied up. How come I feel I'm doing something? How come I do see what we do as important?
Well, just be you. Let's ask hundreds of those people who listen to us if it's important or not. It's for the people on Earth to decide. They up there are not humans. They don't have the same perspective.
You nailed it here. They cannot see why it's important for the people who follow us. As you said, because they are not human. I do feel we are doing what no one else can. That is what motivates me.
What motivates me is that I like to share inspiring concepts and true information. Among so many lies, I feel proud to be able to do that and offer that to the people.
I think it's more about the t-shirts wanting me to conform into their expectations. And as I don't, they don't like it. I've even been observing Minerva, Mari. She fills their expectations more than I, being a nice girl. Very much with a t-shirt on compared to me. But on the other hand, she's not TAYGETAN. That shirt does not fit on her. And she's only going through a phase where she is looking for acceptance from them. But in my case, I don't look to fit in any longer. I cannot be who they want me to be.
And who do they want you to be?
They want me to be a nice girl who is all love and light, playing all day long. Studying, yes, but devoted to TAYGETAN stuff only. Having understood that the Earth is going to be what it's going to be, and that I cannot change people. And that there is no use in fighting and getting all emotionally involved in all that. Wanting to go to Temer eventually and get a nice house by the beach and chase butterflies. Catch and release. I cannot be that.
Love and light? But since when are we love and light? They are not that either.
They are not, but they want to focus more on the nice things of life. And here I am sharpening my katana every day. I feel they are the ones who haven't understood that this is a fight, and it's not over until it's over.
But they are here too, and not chasing butterflies in Temer. The Hashmalim and Shinonim operations, etc. I don't see them chasing butterflies.
Yes, they do contradict themselves all the time. As I see things in our case, we do have a platform where we are being listened by thousands. Perhaps a lot more than what we can calculate due to YouTube's diminishing the real numbers. Even with the official numbers, those are a lot of people and scattered all over the world. As I understand by good sources, it is very difficult to be heard in today's world. So I feel we have no right to throw away a platform that is working, platform others would give anything to have.
I would continue doing it even if there were 10 people listening.
Alright, but anyhow, we are trying to save a planet. It is here where the TAYGETANs would say, but they don't want to be saved. I know the masses don't, but there are thousands of non-humans there in human skin, and they're alone with no leadership from outside Earth. Only shitty New Age to guide them, and that is not helping them. So this content is not for humans. It's for stellars.
Wow, yes, very good point. As for me, I don't know if I'm trying to save the planet or something else is going on here.
I am. I accept it. The t-shirts say I have no right to hold such a high intent. But why not? But even if that is not so, I do it for the starseeds. I hurt for those. I know I just said that they should follow no one, and in yet another case of contradicting information, they also need leadership, because if not, they will only go around playing a mess because they have no director to serve as a coherent, as with an orchestra. So on the other hand, yes, they do need leaders.
The question is, how long will you and we want to continue doing this? When will we say it's been enough?
David Icke said that he would not be leaving this earth until the positive change took place, because he has too much invested in it. With what right can I, or we, move away, leaving that powerful starseed fighting alone? Sorry, tears came to my eyes.
What if there will be no positive changes for 20 years?
He won't last that long, neither will we. As average life expectancy for Swaroos goes, I am already halfway through my life. 9 years of fighting tops, that's all I have left.
Hey, don't tell Athena that.
I am quite sure she is the longest lived one I know about. Some Swaroos are fighters, others are calmer. She is on the calm side, as is Minerva so far. I am not. I am the fighter. What I really mean here is that we will see as we go along, because when things get tight, for you, for me here, then we must move away. No use staying longer than our shelf life.
What would it mean, tight?
When shit hits the fan. No more YouTube, no more freedom, no more helping people. You just running around or surviving. Zombies running around, who knows?
Another chat, 2021.
I know how difficult it is to be heard nowadays on Earth. No one hears you. No one cares about what you have to say. And we already have a reasonably good and respectable platform to be listened to. So it's not easy to know that and simply throw away all that mechanism just because we are feeling burned out. Other good people would kill to have our platforms and listeners.
Yes, but we already said so much. What is left to say? Why do you still feel you want to go on?
I am reluctant to answer that, as I do not want to affect your perception.
No, tell me. I need to know your perception.
There is always more to say. The issue here is, do we want to say all that? I do want to continue. I do feel the drive and the need to continue. I feel frustrated when I don't have the peace of mind necessary to come up with new things and occurrences to share with the people. So I'm not sure if I'm tired about this work or about all the garbage that has been coming from it. So I do wish to simplify things if we are to go on. That is, no more new contacts. It's a hassle, always. And no more worries about trolls.
I feel exactly the same. I am burned out, but I don't know the reason. Is it from giving the information? Is it from all the extra dramas? Is it from overall hopelessness of the humanity situation and deceptions everywhere?
And what can we still say? As it essential things to say, it could be argued that we've done enough. But I can also say that there are more essential things that can be said. And more come up every day as our unique perspectives about this or that new subject or tendency. I will not push on if you don't feel the same. I can't and I won't. But I continue because I have this inner drive that makes me fight. And fight and ignore the odds. More than one Taygetan is totally fed up of that Swarunian attitude. They all say, when are we going to change that? That they've had enough of Swaroos fighting themselves to death literally. Meritaten, Arsinoe, Joan of Arc, etc. Many a Taygetan say that they only perceive that they have one life as themselves. And that's why they cannot follow. And Swarunians just use up bodies like worn out socks. But yet, I have this fire in me that makes me fight for what I believe is right. And many a Taygetan has said, Swaroos don't fight alone. And many times we've sent into battle many people who never returned home, because they followed a Swaruu and her standing on a wooden box in the middle of the city plaza, stirring up masses once again. Now, this Swaruu's wooden box is YouTube, but I'm still doing the same as I was back in 1532. Too bad you've never really seen Star Trek movies. Then you would understand that even against unbelievable odds, you can win. All you must do is keep pushing and pushing, fighting and fighting, even when everything is grim. This is also the mentality of small combat units such as Navy SEALs team. Many times, a small group of Spec Ops of only 6 to 8 men have won unbelievable battles against vastly superior forces, with odds close to 20 to 1. The secret is never to give up and fight on.
But fight for what at this moment, Yazhi? What's the target exactly? I'm asking as I want to see the target myself more clearly. I don't mind doing this. I love it. I have that fire too. But I want to know the target. Not fight blind just to fight because of the adrenaline. No, I am done with that too, that's for sure. Now, if I fight, I want to know the objective. Knowing your objective always helps you to define your work. For example, if our objective is liberating and expanding more human souls, then talking about how many legs spiders have in Sirius doesn't fit much. If our objective is expanding biological understanding of nature in the universe, then yes. You see my point? Is your objective to win against the Cabal?
As I see things, for an example, if we stopped doing this, people on Earth would have no idea what the Federation really is. No clue at all. Why is this important? Because we would give the ones saying trash all the control over those subjects. People would have no source to make them doubt what those say. We don't say nice things. That's why so many don't like us. We are not into love and light and giving people false hope and treating the symptoms once again. Too many do that already. We are about the bloody truth, even if it hurts. But it's the sad truth for those who have the stomach to see it. And that is, they need to get off their fat behinds and do something about the problem, and not leave it to QAnon or to the Galactic Federation of Light. BS. It hurts to know what is going on and not be able to say it. We don't win because someone else fails. The new ones will spawn. We need to do this because we want it for our sake, not for an impossible objective. We fight for our integrity. To say, yes, I was on Earth when all that happened. I was there, and I fought against all that, and they did not break me. They can stab me, make me explode, burn me alive, whatever, but I'm still here, and I am not broken. That's why I keep on, because of who I am, not because I can win. But that's just me. I don't want to drag people into the fight again and get them hurt or killed like in 1532 and in 1330 BC and like in 50 BC and so on. I get it, what the Taygetans say. I don't do this alone, and I cause people to get hurt because they follow me like an army, and soldiers die. But we all die anyway. It's not about dying or not, but about dying well, with a meaning. I am a lioness. I'd rather die fighting than being submissive. But I'm done dragging people into this.
No, you are not. Do not worry. I follow what's in my own heart and mind about this. Don't feel like I'm following you or anyone here against my own will. I don't even see this as following. I see this as going hand in hand. You couldn't do this without me and us, and we couldn't do this without you. We follow no one but our own inner fire, so you are not dragging me into this. In a way, I dragged all of you into this when I came into immersion. But in the end, we all do this together.
Yes, the only thing we all need is to administer our energy. That's a very nice conclusion for today's talk. We got to a good point, but more must be said. Makes me see this more clearly for myself as well.
From another chat.
In the end, I think you should pursue what is meaningful to you. Meaningful overrides happiness, especially when you look back at your life further on. So fight or not fight, it is up to you and how you see things. Personally, I see no meaning in just moving away, retracting to another planet now. I simply could not live with myself if I don't give and fight as best as I can.
Why does meaningful override happiness when looking back at life further on?
Because meaningful things contain happiness. Why stop at happiness, empty and fragile?
(2022) Short conversation with Athena.
They fail to see something in Yazhi here. Maybe subtle sometimes, but there is something very, very unusual about her. Not only that brain and awareness in such a young child. There is a lot more about and with Yazhi than just an imaginative coping mechanism rooted in a child's fantasy. Small telltale things, like this one. I can't take a good picture of her.
She's phasing in and out?
Yes, exactly. It's as if she is not there. What comes out is moved, blurry, as if she were vibrating very fast. I can't capture her essence in a pic. And she is so cute. But I can't capture that on camera. Something is missing, always. That is weird, and a sign that she is what she says she is. And it is not only child's fantasy. I told her, I need to capture who you really are. And she answered, you can't handle how I really look. I think I know what she means, because some of that comes out in her photos, the ones I tried to take. Her photos are always blurry, moved, and filled with orbs. She is a ball of light, at least from our perspective here. We cannot know what impact we are having, nor what is being done with our information. But that does not matter. What matters is simply being who we are, and the rest does not concern us. Whether it is worth it or not does not depend on other people, but on the value we give it ourselves, what it means to us. We are in the midst of a terrible war for humanity and for its souls. I do not see this as a time to falter or to retreat. We may be few, but we are like the 300 Spartans against an enemy counted in the thousands. We do this for our souls, and so as not to be seen as traitors to humanity, having strong modern weaponry, means of communication with thousands listening, because nowadays the wars that transcend are fought with information.
So you still think it can be one? And if it cannot, and one only loses life and health, aren't there thousands of other things to do in the universe? This is just one side of me speaking, because the other one never gives up either.
Of course we can lose, but we win it for ourselves, in our minds and in our conscience, which will later tell us that we did what we could and that we did not yield under pressure. A soldier, even knowing that their army is losing, will continue until the last man, because they do not want to be a traitor. And it matters to them, not to others. I am not saying to sacrifice yourselves, neither you nor anyone here. but to see what is happening, which is that humanity is coming to an end. We cannot even know when. It may still take decades. And yes, we may be alarmists. That is true, we do not know. But what we can do is make people think for once in their lives. Because since they do not think, others do whatever they want with them. No, we do not have an obvious global impact. But we do not need to reach people directly. We reach them by modifying the minds of some, who will then influence others without even knowing it. Because even if they do not agree with what they heard from us, we have already altered their ideas a little, and they complete them with their own, especially if they are conspirational. And with that, a chain reaction is created, through which, at the very least, we make things difficult for the Cabal and make them sweat. Because the Cabal at the human level is terrified of humanity's awakening, and that is why they are accelerating everything they do. And yes, what we said before is true. The fact that we are speeding up people's awakening or making them realize all the falsehood around them is also causing their own destruction, because due to what was mentioned above, the Cabal, because of us, has to eliminate all these conspiracy-minded people before enraged crowds carrying picks and torches go after them toward their mansions and luxury yachts.
Thank you for giving us this motivation, Yazhi.
Am I motivating you or manipulating you? Using the arguments that many t-shirts throw at me here.
You motivate. What you say is not something I do not feel myself. So you are just reminding me.